I'm Chef Alan Susser, and a pleasure to be cooking with you today. I'm going to do a great orange sauce. For this orange sauce, we're going to develop a lot of different flavors, and using the orange for its acidity as well as for its flavor, as well as taking some of the essential oils from the skin. And you'll see the layers of flavor. I think that's really what makes the difference between a cook and a chef. So for the orange sauce, what we're going to do is start off with the orange, and we're going to segment the orange. So as you can see, you cut off the top and the bottom, and just running the knife point around and around this. We're taking off the pith as well as the outside skin, and this will expose the nice segments of orange that we're going to be using for the salad, for the sauce. So what you do here is, with the sharp part, just cutting in between the segments and releasing the supremes, as we call that, the orange supremes. That's all the flavor, that's all the texture of it, and this is going to make a good part of that sauce. So we've got that set aside. And so what we're going to do here, I'm going to jump over to the stove for a moment, because we're going to also take some pine nuts. This is going to go in later, but what I want to do is, so with these pine nuts, I'm looking to toast them to bring out some of the essential oils, to develop more flavor in the pine nuts. We preheat the pan. It's dry. There's no oil in there, but just taking a dry pan, heating it medium, and we're going to toast these. They'll become caramelized, bring out a lot of flavor, and you'll see how this will help in this overall orange sauce that we're making. Going to start off then with a little bit of garlic, which we're going to smash. So just a little smash on that, and then just a little bit of a dice. This is going to be rough because there's going to be a lot of roughage going into this sauce, which you'll see is going to be very interesting. See these toasting up, so we're going to lower the flame. Going to raise the flame on our pan here where we're going to make the orange sauce. A little bit of olive oil. And start the garlic off nice and easy. With that, going to keep our eye on this. As you can smell the aromas, really beautiful aromas coming from the pine nuts. We're going to take some celery. As I told you, there's going to be a lot of roughage in this orange sauce, but this is going to be tremendous. This sauce is going to be delicious with shrimp or with fish or chicken, almost any of those types of flavors. Now as we come back to the saute pan here for a moment, coming back to the stove, paying attention, this is starting to brown nice, so I'm just going to put that to the side. And our garlic is starting to season. This becomes aromatic. We want the aromatics, we want those sort of flavors going on. Going to add a little bit of diced onions. Okay, diced onions, diced garlic. Why cook them? To develop different layers of flavor. By cooking them, they become a lot more mild and mellowed, more intense flavor. And what we're also going to do is season as this cooks. A little bit of salt, as well as a little bit of pepper. Okay, so into this, we're going to put our celery. And get it all coated and get it all cooking there. Just tossing this, you guys see that it was still left with heat in the pan, so just getting that nice and soft and toasty. So that's looking good right now. We don't want it to brown, but we want it to soften and sweeten. So these are going to come together. We've got some nice sweetness going on there. To this, now we're going to add in some of our oranges. I've got some fresh squeezed orange juice. Okay, so I'm going to let that come to a simmer. While we let that come to a simmer, I'm actually going to also add in a couple more ingredients, which is some raisins. So this is going to be a sweet and sour sort of flavors. So you got a little bit of raisin going on into the pan. A couple of olives, so a lot of goodness going on. Again, a little bit of saltiness. So you've got the sweetness of the orange, the sweetness of the raisin, the saltiness that we have with the olives that are in here. And that's going to take just a moment to come to a simmer. I'm going to let that simmer. We're talking about flavor here. So with this flavor, going to add fresh herbs to the orange sauce. A little bit of fresh rosemary. Rosemary goes wonderful with oranges. So you've got the rosemary, and with that, I'm just going to take my finger and slide down the rosemary stem, and so that you have those nice pieces of rosemary. Rosemary is large. It's a large stem, so we're going to need to cut that. Again, real sweet, aromatic, very flavorful. So we're going to add that over into the pan here. Adding the rosemary into our pan. The mint, we're going to actually take the mint and take a couple of stems. And with that, we're not going to chop it. Break the couple of leaves into this. Okay, so we've got the leaves. Nice leaves. This is coming to a simmer. You see all this nice colors coming together. To this now I'm going to add our orange segments that we have in there, as well as some orange zest. Okay, the essential oil, the flavor in the orange. So adding in, and what I'm doing is using a little bit of a scraper, microplane, and you can see the zest coming off of the orange, and it's falling right into here. Give that a tap. Our pine nuts, again, just tossing that in there. Toasted pine nuts, so nice sweetness. Orange, the pine nuts, the sweet, the sour, the salty. These are all what flavors are. These are the flavors that hit your palate. That's what makes this a wonderful dish. So there you have it. A great orange sauce, lots of flavor. I'm Chef Alan.